Hey, everybody, got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you're doing all the convincing in a sales conversation? This episode is going to change the game for you. So, super stoked about today. Here, let's start with a quick story, right? So, I had a time where I was out in an appointment, and moderately early in my career, a few couple, 3, 4 years in, and everything was going awesome. The training I had just gone through a year or two before then was very much the tell, drive it home type of process. And that's what I was following. I went from not having a process to having a process. So, of course, my numbers went up. And this is way back. This is what, 2012, 2013, maybe 2014. And so I was crushing it. I was doing, what I thought was great at the time. But man, there was this one appointment I thought went so good. It went so good. The man and lady were there. They were both decision makers were present. We were, going through the process and, got to the end. I thought I nailed it. Everything was so textbook. And then they hit me with it. Oh, let me think about it. Right. Oh, we got to think about it. Can you email this to us? Well, especially at that time, I didn't know necessarily how to handle that. So it was like, I guess so. Yeah, let me send that right over. And and so I just did the thing that we all do. We get in that I'll send it right over trap. And so it ended up no sell, right? They ended up going with somebody else. And I was so bummed out about it because I just really thought that we had made the connection. We're best friends in the house, all the things. Like so many times we get wrapped up in during the appointment. So here's the thing. By the end of this episode, you're going to know how to flip the script, basically, and get customers to convince themselves. Because the key here is, and this is so, so, so crucial that I want you to learn and memorize, make this part of your ideology, make it part of your process. It doesn't matter what we say, it matters what they say. So that is the episode today. I'm going to give you some scripting around that, and we're going to talk about this concept because it's huge, right? It doesn't matter what we say, everything. It matters what they say. Before we get into that, let's do a little bit of got a quick announcement and some what's in your cup. And I think I also have a review here to read. All right. This one is coming in. Let's see. This is Joe S1234567. It is 5 star. And so the title of it is Tons of Value. It says this podcast is criminally underrated. Thank you for that. Criminally underrated. Just listen to the most recent 2 episodes, and the amount of value Sam provides is unreal. Definitely worth a listen if you want to upgrade your skill set. So thank you, Joe S1234567. I appreciate it so much. Digging back into the archives a little bit for this one, but man, that was a good review. So appreciate every single one of you that listen in 71 countries around the world now. I'm grateful for all of you. So here's the challenge. I love it. We all live and die by referrals so much and by reviews. I know you need reviews. I need reviews, of course, as well. Every business thrives on them. I would love if you went. In fact, let's do a directive, right? Go right now. Stop what you're doing. Go right now and leave Close It Now review. You can go to Google, find Close It Now on Google, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify now has a way to leave reviews there as well. So leave me a 5 star review. And if I read it on a show and you hear it, message me and you get a free 1 hour coaching session, which is massive value. But more importantly, it's just my way of giving back and saying thank you because gosh, I know that you're getting value from this show at this point. I've gotten enough messages to know that there's value going out. So thank you all for listening. Go leave me a 5 star review. And Joe S1234567, if you hear this, message me and we'll get you hooked up with your free coaching session. So that was the review of the day. Another thing that I want to talk about is the Close It Now Relentless, the Ultimate Sales Transformation. This is a sales boot camp, guys. It down it, it's good. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of what it takes to be a top performer. I've got some incredible stuff set up. I've been talking to my event planner this last week, and it is going to be fire, even cooler than I was envisioning because the event planner I'm working with, they've done lots of events similar to this, but for other industries. So we're bringing the fire. When you get ideas and innovation from other outside of your own industry, that's how innovation happens within your own industry. So that's totally what's going on. If you've listened to this podcast at all, you know that I don't do anything like anyone else, which is why we're doing what we're doing, because I want to help you achieve my mission. And my goal is to help you be the best version of yourself, be you times 10, right? So you can get tickets right now at closeitnowbootcamp.com. I've got it's going to be right at the end of April, 1st of May. We're working on 100% confirming the dates as soon as we get the venue picked out. The venue location it's going to be in Boston, Massachusetts. End of April, 1st of May. Working on getting that venue locked in so we can lock in those dates and be able to get all that information to you. But most importantly, go to closeitnowbootcamp.com. Right now, that's going to take you exactly to where you need to be to purchase your ticket for the event. We are capping it at 60 tickets, and we are about a sixth of the way there. So what that means? No, we're more than that. More than a tenth of the way there. Yeah. So we're starting to run out of tickets. Tenth, sixth, my brath brain. Yes, a sixth of the way there. There's 50 tickets left, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So make sure to, so in the little bit that I've talked about it on the podcast, and I have not even promoted it hardly anywhere yet. We have no event flyer yet, none of that. And we're already a sixth of the way sold out. So make sure you get your ticket really quickly because we really have about 10 weeks to get there, which is going to be awesome, and it's going to come faster than you think. So make sure to get it soon. That way you get your spot locked in. So closeitnowbootcamp.com. We're going to take you through the Close It Now sales system. That is, it's the same one that, my buddy Austin up in New York closed out January 2025 at $1.1 million in just January at a 71% close rate. So same system, right? So that's what we're training. And yes, that is boots on the ground, in-person appointments. That is not a virtual unicorn where all these techs are sending them leads. This is someone out there actually putting in the work every single day. He ran 96 appointments out in the field. So that's the real deal. People that are crushing it. There's a handful of this level of salesperson across the country, this level of project manager. It doesn't happen by chance, and he's going to be on the show soon, and we're going to talk about it, what he's doing to put up those kind of numbers. But that is the Close It Now system that we're going to be training at this bootcamp event, as well as a bunch of other breakthrough things. There's some really cool stuff set up for you. So make sure to get your ticket, closeitnowbootcamp.com, and we will see you there. And there might just be some cool swag in the process as well. Possibly a t-shirt, maybe a hat. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But make sure you get there, get your ticket, and come. Most importantly, learn how to become someone worth buying from, and go home and just absolutely dominate your market. So that is the boot camp. Last thing, what's in your cup? What's in your cup today? I'm recording later in the day than I normally do. So I have moved on away from coffee and hot tea. And so what's in my cup today, if you're on YouTube, you can actually see what I'm holding. I have a can of Steaz, Steaz, peach organic green tea. It's the antioxidant brew. So that's what I'm sipping on today. What's in your cup? I love coffee bean exploration, hot tea exploration, or anything else. What are you drinking today? When you're in your day-to-day, right? What do you drink? Is it something hydrating? Are you a Gatorade person? Are you a Powerade person? Uh, is it soda, right? What is it? What are you drinking? So let me know. Send me a message or go join the Facebook group. In fact, go share that group with everybody you know because we do a lot of training in there, and that group is the group's growing like crazy. So go join the Facebook group. Just search "Closing Now" on Facebook. It'll come right up, and let us know what's in your cup. So everybody, let's take a collective three, two, one. All right. Now let's get into the training for today because I'm stoked about this one. It is fire. So, what here's the thing, right? Here's section one, right? We're going to talk about. So I've broken this one into a few sections, right? This one is why what you say doesn't matter, but what they say does, right? Yes, what we say does matter, of course. Yeah, we know. But when it comes down to it, you probably heard sometime in the past, there's a saying that I know that, like Weldon Long has used it often, but he didn't coin the phrase. It came from, it's been around forever. Public declarations dictate future actions, right? We've heard that before. At least you haven't. Now it's the first time. Public declarations dictate future actions. So the big truth is so many project managers, advisors, you spend way too much time talking. You know, the misconception here and the trap, especially if you're new to sales or new to in-home sales, new to the industry, great explanations do not close deals. They just don't. It doesn't matter how well you describe something, how detailed you are in the bullet points of the spec sheet and all that is not going to close the deal. It's just not going to do it. There's some brain science here. People believe what they say out loud more than what they hear from others. Right? Have you ever seen the movie Inception? Right? This is a little bit of what kind of we're talking about. So if you've seen that movie, that's a little bit of context. If not, it doesn't matter. You'll get some value from this anyway. But the brain science, right? People believe what they say out loud more than what they hear from others. So here's a good example, right? When was the last time you had a debate with a friend or maybe your partner, your spouse, one of your kids, whoever, right? When's the last time you were like in a conflict with them, debating about something? So here's the question. Was it what the other person said that changed their mind, or was it something, right? So was it something you said that changed their mind, or was it something they realized themselves? Right? So that's the big question. Was it something you said, or was it something they realized themselves in that conversation? Right? Because here's the thing. If we get a homeowner to say, here's, we're just going to talk, it's winter time. So date of recording is February 18th, 2025. So it's freezing cold outside. Here in Texas, we're about to have another super cold snap. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the last of the year. But here's the thing: is if we ask them, when we're in the conversation, what we want them to say is, "Gosh, yeah, I really do hate waking up cold in the morning." Right? When they say that, they sold themselves on needing a new system, right? On needing a new furnace. But the thing is, why? So the three magic words. So I love word substitutions, or one of the episodes for every guy, which I'll do another one on it, is "but first." The two magic words, "but first." This one starts with but three magic words here in this situation. But why though? This is the "but why though" technique, right? And how it works. What happens is, first of all, we're gonna like ask their opinion. We'll get into some brain science because it just cuts through a lot of the the mental fuzziness that so many times they're given as smoke screens. But when we ask about why, though, it cuts right through that to get what they actually believe about the thing or the product or service or whatever it is that you're talking about. So we'll stay with we'll stay with HVAC because that's where most of you are. Instead of saying something like, "Hey, the system's going to save you money," you can turn it into a question. So first of all, if you can tell it or if you can ask it as a question, always ask it as a question, right? But so ask, just ask something like this: what's more important to you, right? And this is kind of generic in general. We don't, it don't normally go through it exactly like this, but for this example, it makes a lot of sense. So ask them, you know, what's more important to you? Is it lower bills, better comfort, long-term reliability? That's a generic example. Of course, most people are going to say, well, all the above. Um, it doesn't really matter what they answer, but this is where the power comes in. That's when, so for example, it's like sometimes people are going to say, I just want a system that keeps me comfortable, right? Here's the difference. But now we're going to ask, but why though? What's been bothering you about your current system? But why though? Oh, so say, oh, I hate how I wake up cold in the morning. Then we're going to ask, not tell, well, why do you think that happens? And then let them answer, right? Let them identify the problem and then let them identify the solution. This is next level sales, right? These are the techniques that top performers use. I guarantee you ride with a top performer or somebody that puts up massive numbers, they're not telling the whole time. They're asking so many questions. In fact, Rilla, they've got the data to prove it. Top performers ask 5 times as many open-end questions as bottom performers do. They also talk like 43% of the time, where low bottom end performers talk like 60 to 62 or 3% of the time. So there's a big, big, big difference there. And that's why questions like this are so important. So once they verbalize their problem, so we'll get back into this hypothetical one-sided role play here. Once they verbalize their problem, right? They're like, because of this. Why do you think that happens? Oh, because of this or this. So then we ask, so would it make sense to look at a system that keeps the temperature steady all night? Now they've built the case for your solution, not you, right? They're building the case for it. If they get frustrated because of say the heat cycle's on and off and it never stays steady, right? That's exactly what we're using, is like their words, not ours. And so after they give an answer, so here's the next step. We've got to lock it in. You've got to lock it in. So we're going to throw up what's called a mirror, right? And then we're going to confirm. So this is Scott Sylvan Bell, he says this is a tie down technique, right? So we're going to use a mirror, like Chris Voss says, and we're going to use a tie down technique. So after they give you an answer, this is the big one, y'all. Everybody moves on so fast. So when somebody says something like, we say, so would it make sense to look at a system that keeps the temperature steady all night? And they say yes. So many people will jump ahead into presenting the solution. We've got to lock it in. We have to lock it in. And so in this example, the way we do that is like, so what I'm hearing is it's really important for you to have a system that keeps you comfortable without those annoying temperature swings. Right? Or yes? They're going to double down on their statement and they're going to really reinforce their own thought, their own reasoning there. And it's so important because and we'll go through a couple different scenarios of how to use this, because we can use this in lots of different places, right? We can use it with, we can use it in objection handling. We can use it in when we're presenting. One of my favorite places to use but why though is when we go through and we're presenting options, right? This can be presenting a service option. It can be presenting maybe some IAQ bundles or some different IAQ items. It can be presenting systems, whatever you're presenting. It could be a single thing or a list of things. And then asking, what do you think is the best fit for you and your family? Or does this make sense? Whatever your closing question is there. Which one of these do you like the best? Which of these do you think will be the best fit for you and your family? It doesn't matter which we've just presented. Once we ask that type of a question or that type of a closing question, and they're going to answer by the choice, it's, option B or option, the Duke or, the whatever it is, right? They're answering with, the the Four Seasons cyst package or the mountaintop. It does whatever you name it, right? It's cool. Whatever they answer, this is the next step, and this is how it applies. But why though? But why though? Because so what's about to happen is they're going to tell you all of the things that they like the best about whatever that is, or even just asking, okay, great. So which of these do you think is the best fit for you and your family, whatever? This one, but why though? Or what do you like best about it? But why though? The but why though will open up all of the reasons that they like that thing. So, for example, I was actually training this earlier with one of my one-on-one coaching clients. Um, we were going over systems, and we got to the the top level system. Okay, great. Which of these do you think is the best fit for you and your family? This one, it's the adaptive system. Oh man, it's great. Okay, but why though? And so he gives me in this role play because it's comfortable. I don't want to have those up and down temperature swings. All of these things. It's like, okay, great. What else? What else? Well, what I didn't hear was, oh man, it looks really efficient and it's going to save me money. Because whatever they give you as the reasons, their but why though, whatever their reasons are that they're really like that option, that's your word track and that's the language you're going to use moving forward for the rest of the appointment to because that's their hot buttons. It's the reason that they are want this thing, right? If it's a system or whatever it is. What I'm not going to say we'll keep down the road on this example. What I'm not going to say is now when I'm presenting the rest of the appointment, you're going to love this because it's going to save you so much on your electric bill. It's so efficient. Oh my gosh, the energy consumption. Why would I do that? What he said was, I love how comfortable it's going to be. I can totally see how I'm going to sleep better at night without the big temperature swings and waking up in the middle of the night in the winter or summer. And it's going to be a lot more peaceful and it's quiet, right? So why would we talk about the energy savings? Emphasize the facts of what they said, what their hot buttons were. You can throw that in too. Hey, as an extra bonus, this is also going to save you on your electric bill because it's more efficient. But I know that's not your main driver here. You're not main focus. Most importantly, you're going to sleep the best, right? And so we've got to remember it doesn't matter what we say; it matters what they say. And then once they say that, that's where we throw that mirror up, and it's like, okay, so if I'm hearing you right, the peaceful sleep, the quietness, not having the temperature swings, man, you're going to wake up better in the morning. So then we start to paint this picture to future cast it a little bit into the future. And that's where the emotional connection starts to draw them forward into the future and what the future holds for their project, for the way that they're going to live in their space. And that is, that's what's so cool about it. And so I love this concept because but why though? It's such an easy question. And once you present anything, ask them, what they like best about it, then but why though? And it could be the same thing, just like we, talk about this a lot if you haven't listened to the 3 bids training, the first half of the 3 bids training is about this, but using it for a different scenario. So that's we've got to let them identify the solution, we mirror and confirm, and the next step is so that is it. That is the end of that that whole thing. But once they give you all that, then just keep moving forward. Present according to what they said. Now, let's hit pause here real quick because I just went through a bunch of that really quickly. Take another break for some Steve's iced tea. Okay, so y'all want to handle a I need to think about it objection. Here's a different way to handle I need to think about it. You can totally use this. This is what I love so much about objection handling. You don't need 1,000 different word tracks. You don't need 80 ways to handle objections. You don't need a Rolodex of objection handling. What I want to do is help you learn how to think behind the script. If the script changes, you're toast. But if we start to being able to think behind the script, think intuitively, right? We start to be able to feel the objection coming minutes before it even comes, minutes before they even say it, and know which one's coming, and then intuitively know the questions to ask, because we've got to figure out where this objection is coming from. The objection most of the time is not the real objection anyway, so we have to be able to figure out where it's coming from. So if we can ask questions behind the script, find out clarity questions about where it's coming from, then you can easily handle that, right? Because there's only really 3 or 4 objections that we ever get over and over and over. So let's do. I need to think about it. So instead of doing the some of the traditional, oh, what is there to think about, et cetera, et cetera. I love. Let's do it a little slightly different. This one is, and honestly, I've never. I'm sure some people have. I've never done this before. I was really doing some brain work earlier, and just a whole different path here that fits this. So the first question is, when they hear, I need to think about it, or when we hear, I need to think about it. Let's ask this. So instead of convincing, because we're not here to convince, let's do this. So obviously, ask permission. Yeah, mind if I ask you a few questions? Sure, of course. So hey, what's on your mind? Is it more about price, timing, or something else? What's on your mind? Is it more about price, timing, or something else? They'll give you an answer, because now we're getting clarity, though. We're getting clarity on the issue. Is it more about price, timing, or something else? Whatever they answer, but why, though? This is going to keep them talking. The more they explain, the more they start to process their own objections. And the cool part is, a lot of times they're going to solve them themselves as they just talk it out. You become the lamppost, right? This is the in therapy and stuff. This is called talk therapy, right? You become the lamppost and let them just talk it through. And a lot of times they solve the problem on their own. Right. So what's on your mind? Is it more about price, timing, or something else? And whatever they answer, then now they're giving you something that you can handle. But just like in presenting, before you go straight to handling that, but why though? And it'll keep them talking. It's gonna just open it up. See if they solve it themselves. Otherwise, no. Here's a different scenario. We're past. I want to think about it. Let's do. Here's an example. I got a quote for 3,000 less. All right. So we're thinking about it, whatever. Say that's the next step. We've asked, what's on your mind? Is it more about price, timing, or something else? They'll answer, oh, it's price. Okay, but why though? And so now they get into, maybe, hey, I got a quote that's $3,000 less. And we're like, got it. But this is so fun, because now we're turning things into questions that we never have done questions in the past. Right here, I love to ask, but why do you think their price is so much lower? But why do you think their price is so much lower? Let that homeowner respond, right? Because they may or may not know. They're not going to know. They don't know. Here's an example. And this is actually what customers say a lot. Maybe they're using cheaper materials. So instead of being like, yes, they are, I know that company, they suck. It's like, if they're like, maybe they're using cheaper materials, then that's when we ask another question. Would it be important to you to know exactly what's different before making a decision? Would it be important to you know what quality of materials we are using before making a decision? Right? They're selling themselves on needing more info. Right? As we go through these types of questions, and we can do that with anything. Why do you think their price is so much lower? Maybe they're using cheaper materials, and maybe it's a brand difference. Whatever they answer, we can come back with, and if you listen to last week's episode, we can come back with, that's exactly why they're cheaper. That's exactly why more homeowners go with us in this area, in your own neighborhood, than anyone else, especially them. Right? You can use that's exactly why, very effective right here. But through the questions, we're helping them recognize what's going on and basically solve the problems for themselves. And then we're just here to guide. We're being, just being the tour guide along the way and closing the deal. So that's that's totally what's going on. So here's my challenge to you. First of all, does this make sense? If you got some value from this, go to Google, go to Apple Podcasts, leave me a review. I love reviews. 5-star review. I appreciate it. But here's my challenge to you. Challenge this week. Instead of explaining, I want you to ask, but why though? Use those 3 words and let them talk. Listen. Listen for the moment that they sell themselves. And I want you to message me, DM me with your results, right? So instead of explaining, ask, but why though, and let them talk. Listen for the moment that they sell themselves. And you'll be able to, the more you do this, the more you can recognize it just immediately, right? So listen for that moment and message me with the results. So here's what I want you to do. 1, leave a review, but also share this episode with somebody, somebody in sales that could use this, that add some value to them. And, of course, and if you want deeper training on mastering the art of questioning, hit me up for coaching. You go to closeitnow.net. That is, I'm fixing to do a revamp there, but go to closeitnow. Well, it's not going to change that much. Go to closeitnow.net and fill out the form. I'll be in touch with you. I will be in touch with you directly. I don't have, when people message me, I don't have this whole team that's going to reach out and sell you something. I authentically want to get on a video call with you and find out what your struggles are and see if the coaching is a fit, right? That's authentically, truly how I want to help, right? So this is so powerful, these types of things. My message to you is, if you get value from these little snippets in a podcast, imagine how much better and how much faster your metrics and your numbers and your KPIs would increase if we were actually working together in a coaching scenario. So just think about that. So go to closeitnow.net and fill out the form there, or that way we can schedule a call. Also, you can, of course, go join the Facebook group, pop me a message. I am easy to find. You can find me on Instagram at The Real Close It Now. I am all over Facebook at, of course, Close It Now or Sam Wakefield. I'm on LinkedIn at Close It Now or Sam Wakefield. And, gosh, I just appreciate every single one of you so much. And, share the podcast, share the Facebook group. Let's build this community. Let's get to the next level, because it is absolutely imperative that we help our industry level up. And I want to see it start with you. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the industry. Work to be that person worth buying from. Work to, set the standard higher. And that's so much it. So thanks everybody for listening today. I appreciate it so much. You go out there and for sure go be somebody worth buying from.